everybody, and welcome to Dude's Brunch, the late night morning talk show where we talk about things we found on the internet. With me this week, as always, not trapped in the shadow realm, it's Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
That's actually a funny story because we played a board game on Friday where I made parallels to Yu-Gi-Oh! So that was as purpley. Anyway, I had a bacon, cheese, and bagel sandwich. Had two of them.
Sounds delicious. The heart of my cards, Sean Evans. How are you? What did you have for brunch today?
This morning I had coffee, of course, and then I had oatmeal with a little bit of honey mixed in it. Sweeten it up.
Nice.
This oatmeal that I have is weird. It's like you get an occasional bite and it's just like pure oats and salt. I don't really understand what's going on with that.
Is it instant or is it like real stuff?
What does that mean?
Like real oats that you have to like boil water and like cook them for a prolonged period of time, or like instant oatmeal that you can throw it in the microwave for like 2 minutes?
Oh, like instant. I just put it in a bowl and then put it under the Keurig and let it pour on there.
Yeah. I don't think anyone actually makes oatmeal for real anymore.
Hey man, Ian Miike does, because there's an issue of Maximum Rock and Roll where it's like cooking with Fugazi, and he talks all about
I know,
how
we read this already.
instant cooking isn't punk. Yeah, we've been there. We covered that like 50 episodes ago.
I make my smoothies with water.
Damn right.
There's nothing else in there. So what'd you have?
Yeah, I'm your host, Taylor, and I went backpacking this weekend, so my breakfast this morning was instant oatmeal and instant coffee, the least satisfying form of both. But, you know, that's okay. We cooked Skyline chili over an open fire last night, and that was pretty sweet, and also very Ohio. So, you know.
How do you get Skyline that far out?
You can buy the cans at Kroger down here.
What's even the point anymore then? But
well, you can only buy the cans of chili.
Right. What do you think they did? Like the chili fairy came and like
I would just think it would be only in like the tri-state.
No, well, Kroger is headquartered in Cincinnati.
Oh.
And so you can get Skyline and Graders at the Krogers down here.
You can get it up here in Akron. You can get it in Athens.
But only at Kroger.
No, you can get it. You don't have to get it at Kroger. You can get it
I've only
the
seen
grocery
it at
stores
Kroger here.
Yeah, no, you can get it at the grocery stores. You just have to like dig through and look at the bottom of the can to realize that nobody has bought it since, 1622.
Right.
I forget that we live in a global economy and you could probably just Amazon Skyline chili and just got it. So
I almost definitely could have.
Let me check that.
Well, while you're doing that,
right.
Oh, we can't actually because you have the first topic, so don't Amazon that.
Okay, correct. Yes, you can. Oh my! You can get 4 cans for $21.50.
$21.50.
That sounds like a ripoff.
That is highway robbery right there.
Hey, listen,
new and used. Why would you want used chili?
If I wanted consolidated meat pus, I would just make it myself.
Tell us how you really feel, John.
I like it. That's outrageous. That's like $5 a can.
Well, to be fair, it's $4 in the grocery store, so.
Well, there you
go. Sorry. I don't think the chili diaspora is that big where people are going to pay $20 for a stupid can of chili.
I mean, the thirst could be real. You never know. I mean, you could really want it.
Really want it.
And then, insert some joke about diarrhea, and you could just, whatever. All right.
We're going to catch a lot of flack for this.
I tried to come up with a really great intro, but it didn't work. Whatever, we're playing Mad Libs. All right, let's get into it. We're using the humor category first. We'll see if we get to another one.
At the rate you're going, we may not even have a show by Friday, so.
I know.
Is this adult-themed Mad Libs or just regular?
No, I'm using wordblanks.com.
Okay.
So they have a variety of categories that you can choose from.
And funny was the one you chose?
You're right. That's really stupid. We're going to go to the editor's pick.
Yeah, we only do the highest quality Mad
That's
Libs on
right.
this podcast.
Aggregation.
Gold status.
All right, so verb base form.
Run.
Okay. First name,
John.
John. Oh, by the way, if you don't know how to play Mad Libs, it's a game where, without knowing any context of anything, you just say things based on
I think people
requirements.
know how to play Mad
All right,
Libs.
fucking whatever. All right, last name.
Your turn,
Smith.
Taylor.
Okay, all right, John Smith. All right, well, this is basic as fuck, but okay. Adjective.
Um, neat.
Meat.
Neat. Not meat.
Meat is not an adjective.
No, I said neat with an N.
Neat. Oh.
Neat. 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 Like, that board game sure is neat.
Oh, thank you, Sean, for giving that that contextual reference that applies to my life. All right,
Just
another
'cause
adjective,
everyone
please.
kept saying meat.
Adjective again.
Oh, smelly.
We'll
I don't
just,
know.
well, that's not a. It doesn't ask for a. Wait, I guess that works. Cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's an adjective that works.
Sorry. Animal plural.
Wombats.
Got him.
Good choice.
Noun plural.
Mailboxes.
All right. Noun plural. Again.
Light beers.
Okay. First name. Not John or Smith.
Greg.
Greg. Noun plural.
Jewelries.
No, that's not a word. Jewelries is not a word.
How about jewels?
Jewels.
Yes, jewels.
There we go. That's what Sean was going for. All right. Animal plural.
Ocelots. Do you know how to spell ocelot?
I did. I actually got it right at the first try. I'm glad that we're all following the rule of Mad Libs, where it's like there's like just certain words that are funny to say. Like I remember as a child, Richard Nixon was one of my favorite proper nouns to do. Which when you're like 10, you're like, I have no context of what the fuck Richard Nixon even did, but he sure does have a funny name. Anyway, last name. Not Smith.
Heingeist.
Heingeist?
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
They're German.
Okay. Verb base form.
Sleep.
Sleep. Noun plural.
Scooty Puff Jr.
Plural.
Puff.
Oh yeah, Scooty Puffs
Dude,
Juniors. Scooty Puff Juniors.
Give me a number.
What's the nearest number to me right now? 73.
73. Adjective.
Jumped.
That's not an adjective, that's a verb.
Got him.
Thanks for listening. Meandering.
Good one.
Adjective.
Orange.
Animal plural. There's a lot of animals in this.
Narwhals.
Noun plural. Beetles.
Tissues.
Tissues. All right. Play it. All right, kids. And for those playing at home, if this is a complete flop, I'm sorry. We're doing science for podcast kind right now. What, is there an ad? Come on. Can you just give me my fucking completed... All right, thank you. All right. So the title of this Mad Lib is Scam Letter from Nigerian Prince. Confidential. Dear Sir, Good day and compliments. This letter will definitely come to you as a huge surprise, but I implore you take the time to run it carefully as the decision you make will go off a long way to determine the future and continued existence of the entire members of my family. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. John Smith, the wife of the late head of the state and commander-in-chief of the Neat Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who died on the 8th of June, 1998. My ordeal started immediately after my husband's death on the morning of 8th June 1998 and the subsequent takeover of my government by the smelly wombats. The, the present democratic government is determined to betray all the good work of my late husband in a bad light and have gone as far as confiscating all my late husband's mailboxes and light beers, freezing our accounts both within and outside Nigeria. As I am writing this letter to you, my son Greg Smith is undergoing questioning with the government. All these measures taken by past present government is just to gain international recognition. I and the entire members of my family have been held incommunicado since the death of my husband. Hence, I seek your jewels to assist us in securing these funds. We are not allowed to see or discuss with ocelots. Few occasions I have tried traveling abroad through alternative means, all failed. It is in view of this that I have mandated Dr. Heingeist, who has been assisting the family to run around on so many issues, to act on my behalf of the family concerning the substance of this letter. He has the full power of attorney to sleep Scooty Puff Juniors with you. That one didn't roll off too well. My late husband has $73 USD specifically preserved and well packed in meander boxes, of which only my husband and I knew about. It is packed in such a way to forestall orange narwhals having access to it. It is a sum that I seek your assistance to get out of Nigeria as soon as possible before the present civilian government finds out about it and confiscate it, just like they have done to all our tissues. I implore you to please consideration to my predicament and help. Your faithfully, NB. Please contact Dr. Heingeist on this email address for further briefing on modalities. There you go. That was way too fucking wordy. And not enough dag memes in it.
That sure was something.
It sure was.
Did anybody actually play Mad Libs as a kid?
A few times in the drive to North Carolina for family vacations.
I was gonna say, I feel like my parents tried it like one or two times in the car, and it just never really went well. And we all got bored, and we all gave up.
No. I think we did it at school a couple times. That was about it.
I don't know. Do you have another one pulled up?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna do another one.
Let's do one more.
We'll do one more. We'll see if we can get a one that's a little less on the less funny side. All right, sure. Let's do this one. We'll see how it goes.
What category is this one?
Oh, thank God. Okay, this is also from the editors section. All right, give me a noun.
Pizza.
Pizza. There we go. Noun.
Let's make this one podcast themed.
Another noun.
Mm-hmm.
Waffle.
Waffle. Okay. Let's make this the most dude brunch it can be. Verb, present, ends in ing.
Drinking.
Drinking. Good.
To forget.
Noun.
Black coffee.
Beautiful.
That's specifically what I was referencing in that last comment.
Adjective.
Unlistenable.
Verb base form.
Mosh.
Mosh. There you go. Noun.
Bingo.
Bingo. Animal plural.
Oh gosh, what animals have we talked about on this show?
I don't know. I think we
talked about how nature is metal. You can't come up with one of those things that we talked about.
Oh yeah. Let's do wolves.
There you go.
Wolves are metal.
Adjective.
Loud.
Loud. All right, noun plural.
Beers.
Black flags. We'll do beers. Let's do that. All right. Verb base form.
Um, hold on. Kind of look back at what we talked about. What was it? What was it? What was it?
Verb base form.
Taste.
Taste. Good. Good word. Noun
Shout out
plural.
to Emily Danforth.
Hey, you got him.
What was that noun?
Noun plural.
Mm, birds.
Birds. Got him. Adjective.
Um,
Can I take...
metal.
Oh, okay. I was gonna steal
Or
your
you-
turn.
Noun plural. I didn't know we were taking turns. Ooh.
Noun plural, memes.
Fucking got him. Maybays. All right. Here we go, kids. Let it go from Frozen. Word blank.
Oh no.
I have never seen that movie, so I only am assuming how this is supposed to sound. The snow glows white on the pizza tonight. Not a waffle to be seen. A kingdom of isolation. And it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this drinking black coffee inside. Couldn't keep it in. Heavens know I tried. Don't let them in. Don't let them see. Be the unlistenable girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, to let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go. Let it go. Turn away and mosh the bingo. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the wolves rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem loud, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do, to test the limits and break beers. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind in the sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me taste. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. The powder flurries through the air into the ground. My spirit is spiraling in frozen birds all around, and one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'll never go back. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go, let it go. I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, let it go. That metal girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of day. Let the storm rage on. The memes never bothered me anyway. Well, the one parts that were filled with absolutely none of our words were garbage, and the parts that had our words in it were awesome.
Oh,
Great.
so you mean like literally every Mad Lib ever?
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna ask you. Not having seen this movie and doing this Mad Lib,
Yes.
does it make you want to see it now?
Not at all.
Nope.
Although I am interested.
Wait, you haven't seen it either?
No.
There you go.
Have you?
Although
None of you guys have seen this movie.
no.
Have you?
No, you should watch it. Yes, of course I have. I have a girlfriend who likes to watch movies. So
I have a
yes,
girlfriend that likes to watch movies too, but she just like to see dumpster
You
trash
guys-
garbage
you
movies.
guys it's not dumpster trash garbage.
I know it's like the most popular Disney movie of
It's not like great, but I mean it's a good Disney movie.
Our second topic this week comes from Sean. Sean wants to talk to us about a music video. Sean?
Hey everybody, it's Sean. Just coming to you this week from the internets to talk to you about something that's on the internets. So this week I decided to talk about Mike Snow's new music video, Genghis Khan. It's actually, well, not that new. I guess it came out like a month ago. But it seems to be that people are kind of falling in love with it. I didn't notice at the time. I kind of just thought it was really cool, so I want to talk about it. Basically, to give you a summary / gist of the video, it's kind of about this James Bond-esque character, villain particularly, and he is kind of living his life, doing his villain things, and then it kind of goes home. It shows him at home with his family and his wife and his kids, and he kind of seems to be upset. And it pans back to his next scene where he's with this Bond villain. Meanwhile, the whole time there's dancing, which is really interesting, cool dancing. And he doesn't kill this Bond character and ends up finding out later that he's in love with this character. And the gist of it is that he gets a little Genghis Khan when anybody's getting it on with that person but him.
Nobody else but me.
Yeah, just him.
Nobody else but him.
I asked the guys to watch the video. That was about all I asked them to do. What's your initial reaction? What'd you think about? Okay, so I guess I should start first. What'd you think about the music?
I love this song.
Itself?
I have loved this song since the first time I heard it on like Pandora or Spotify Radio or something like that. It is so catchy. I am like all about this song. Hadn't seen the video though, but I think it accompanies the song really well.
When you listened to it, did you expect so you listened to it before you saw the video. Did you expect something to be like this?
Well, I've watched Mike Snow videos before. You and I have watched a number of times the one with the running girls.
Mm.
Or no, I guess that's Big Data. That's not Mike Snow.
Yeah, no, that's Big Data.
But yeah, so I don't know. After that Big Data video, I've just stopped expecting things from music videos because I never know what's going to happen.
Tyler, any first reaction after hearing it? You can be real.
Well, no. Full disclosure, positive review. But let's be honest, our douchebread reviews are always positive. Except for that one time we had Nathan on and we slammed his album. But that was... Love you, Nathan. Hearts.
Please
anyway.
don't drop your vacuum, Nathan.
Anyway, it's hard for me to sort of like distinguish the music video from like the song itself, considering that's the only context I've seen it in. But because I feel like it's colored so much of my perception of the song that it's like if I listen to it in like the car, I would probably just imagine the music video. Like I don't know. There's just something about it that just like it just feels so perfect, well paired. It just matched up very well. I kind of like looked at some track reviews of it. There was like people that loved it. Some people were like, "Well, this is different from their old stuff," which doesn't feel like a legitimate review at all. I mean, it was good. I mean,
that's all right.
The beat was good. I mean, it's like
did you so you just listened to it like right before the podcast started, right? I've
listened to this like several days in advance and in like several other times.
Was it stuck in? Did you get it stuck in your head at all?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this song has been stuck in my head. Like, I hadn't heard it in a couple of weeks, and then I listened to it today for the show, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be stuck in my head forever."
I mean, I think for me, the beat is like super important. That if it's something I can like groove to, it's something I can really like. It just feels good. It's probably gonna be a song that I'm gonna end up liking, and I mean like. Some other reviews like mentioned like how the falsetto performance is like sort of like very characteristic of Mike Snow, which it's actually I really like that part about it. So that's not necessarily maybe like to the credit of this song, but to their work in general. I really like that. I think that's really interesting. I mean, it doesn't feel very deep in any way, like in regards to like the complexity of the song or like the performances or the lyrics. But that, as we've learned, that doesn't matter when you're making a good song. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great little fun kind of alt-pop song. And had I not seen the video for it, I would have just associated it with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys pretty much on everything you said. It's really an earbug, that's for sure.
Yeah.
As soon as I listen to it until I go listen to something else, it's pretty much like stuck into my head, which is actually what I think makes it something that I really like is because, you know, you can hear that line in your head. I watched another video of this girl who she covered it and she just had like a little synth pad and she was able to kind of loop the song and do a pretty good cover of it just in her bedroom. That was really interesting. I
It'll
think
be
there's something to said
linked down
about
below, of
that.
course.
So,
Is
my
this a
next,
playlist song? There's a question.
Hmm.
Is this a song for a playlist?
I would put it on a playlist.
I would, yeah, why not?
I would put it
Yeah.
on like a driving playlist or something like that. Yeah.
There you go.
Just
That's
put it
important.
on a playlist of things to play. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the video?
This video is so good. Now, it might have been just because I watched an awful video before this. I watched the newest Coldplay video, Adventure of a Lifetime. For some reason, I don't know, I must have clicked the wrong link. Oh, that is a bad video. It's like all CGI gorillas. There's no live people in it at all, and the gorillas are lip syncing Coldplay, and it's just
Wait, the actual gorillas?
the CGI gorillas. Yes, they're like dancing in conga lines and like lip syncing Coldplay. That's why I was like, "What the fuck, Sean? Why did you send me this?" And then I realized that that wasn't what you sent me to watch. Um, So I came out of that into the Genghis Khan video, which is amazing and really well produced, and it's got really like tight choreography. I was really impressed by the choreography. Yeah, I just loved it.
I'm listening to it right now. Anyway, I had a similar situation to Taylor in that I listened to this and I saw that it was called Genghis Khan, and so I wanted to see if I could find a Genghis Tron song to have us listen to. Because I'm fucking stupid. So I like put it on like a music video and it was like weird, like Muppet, like don't hug me, I'm scared levels of creepy. And I was like, I'm gonna go fucking throw up. Like I was just like, I don't stop that weird. So I went back and watched this. But no, this is probably a perfect music video, which I feel like isn't exactly like hard to say. Because I mean, I feel like a lot of music videos do it right, like do it really, really well, and that pretty much starts off with not having the band in the music video. Sorry, I mean, unless it's like an OK Go kind of thing. Agree, disagree?
You have to do it well.
I think
Right.
that'd be another topic. I could go on for a while about that.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a rabbit hole to go down, and I know a thing about rabbit holes.
So how I found this video was it was actually like in a promo on the side of my YouTube playlist when I was watching some metalcore videos, and I was like, "Oh, that looks cool. See who this Mike Snow guy is. This will be kind of fun." And there we go. I went from Between the Buried and Me to Mike Snow in the click of a mouse. It was kind of interesting.
So this is the first Mike Snow song you've ever heard?
No, I went back and looked at some other stuff, and I've heard his other
I was
other
gonna
stuff.
say he's had a
I
lot
just
of like
know that it
popular
was Mike
singles.
Snow.
It's my first Mike Snow song.
Yeah. So, but it definitely made me investigate his stuff more. But yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. I thought I almost wanted to do a comparison with some other videos that had these like Bond-esque sort of things, but then I just said, this is such a cool video on its own. Let's just talk about it. So, what do you guys think of the storyline?
Very good.
Yeah? Favorite part?
So, as a classic James Bond fan, I was a little bit nervous that it was gonna go too campy, because Bond has always been like on the fine line of campy, and sometimes they go too far over, and you get a movie like Die Another Day with Halle Berry, which is just not a good movie. But occasionally they hit it just right, and I think this video did a very good job of like making fun of the moments where Bond goes too far while still holding itself in. Like there's no big explosions, there's no like huge spectacle to this video,
Right.
but it is kind of cornball and kind of cheesy, and like the dance fighting is going on, and yeah, I think it plays really well with the tropes of a franchise that most people know.
Definitely when James Bond and villain are dancing together, or at the very last moments when it's his wife and she just like speaks the lyrics of the song. I'm like, so good. So good. But no, I really like this sort of like absurdist, like kind of like zone, like pop culture's kind of been going in lately, where there's a podcast I listen to called Cool Games Inc. where people take in tweets for video game ideas and then they like bullshit about it for like an hour. And so their idea this week was Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but with trucks, and it's made into chapters, and at some point you have to choose a different path, whether they're big rigs or like sport utility vehicles. And depending on which truck you pick, also determines which is your dad. And your dad is either Tim McGraw or Darth Maul. and you're like, and so
This is some John Cena's sexy high school
and so like
adventure
that kind of
bullshit.
I've been yeah kinda. And there's only two songs, and it's like some random Tim McGraw song, and then another Tim McGraw song called "Refried Dreams." But no, I've been like really in this like weird zone, so this felt like so perfect for me.
For me, it was just like it was everything that I wanted out of a James Bond parody. It was in the same zone as Austin Powers, but not in the Woody Allen Casino Royale zone where it's just too full of itself. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
I don't know. I thought this. I guess I do know. Thought it was really interesting because I felt like it never got. It was a good parody, but it never got to the point of like being absurd, like you guys said. There wasn't ever this feeling of it being like Austin Powers, where you're like waiting for them to say something really dumb and kind of spoof it. At the same time, I like the use, like the cinematography was really good in this. When I was on Tumblr looking it up, the video, there was people that were posting side by sides about the different scenes, like when the whole house scene when he's with his wife versus the scene when he's with the Bond character and they're together as a couple. There's like particular things that change, like the quote unquote villain becomes more approachable to his children. Like the lighting is brighter. They seem to be happier with one another. It was really interesting when you compared that. And I guess too, I thought one thing that really was interesting about the video was in the first scene, when the clock strikes 5, what we got was, he kind of has to stop and he kind of seems upset and his whole day is kind of ruined at that point. And it kind of made me wonder if that was like, if there was a bigger story there about like being in the closet a little bit and not being your true self.
A message there
all the time,
being closeted for sure.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting to watch this, some artistic ways to say things.
I was just gonna say it's very hard to explain things like cinematography on an audio podcast, and so I definitely want to make sure that people go and watch this. It'll be down in the show notes. But as far as the ending goes, I thought it was a nice little bait and switch. I really kind of expected it to just end with him being happy with the James Bond character, and not so much. We get this nice shot of his former wife.
I feel like I need to see more.
Oh, I'm pretty happy with it ending on a cliffhanger.
I want to see what happens.
The thing that I thought was really is like, so when he comes back, I haven't quite figured out if there's like an alternate reality with this yet, because when he comes back in the house, or if this is like if this is just imaginary or something. I feel kind of in the dark about this because
oh, you're right.
His wife is now the villain, or who might have been his wife. I don't know. In the end there, and like, but everything is brighter and happier in the new one. But at the same time, like the scene ends with them together, and it's just, I don't know. It just seems like there's a couple of timelines that come together.
I guess I wasn't looking at it that deeply.
I see that. I know. And then you don't even like for me, I'm like, oh, they're like an alternative couple. I'm like, we've advanced as a civilization where I'm not even like, I feel like that would have been a much bigger deal.
Right.
Several years ago.
I don't know. That's just what strikes me as kind of interesting. The video itself is that at first I just thought it was a storyline that went to the end and like the wife was displaced and whatever else. But now I just wonder if any of it is actually like if he actually ends up being with the Bond character, or if that's just a fantasy, or if he's actually with the Bond character the whole time and it's just a projection of the wife of what her side of the story is and what she's imagining.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that at all. I
Hmm.
didn't really give it that much thought.
I'm just thinking out loud right now. So,
So I've got our last topic this week, and I wanted to talk to everybody about Waze. So if people aren't familiar, Waze is a GPS navigation app for your smartphone, but it has live updating traffic based on other people that are using it and Google Maps. And so if there's an accident or if there's just traffic, Waze will actually reroute you around the traffic and get you to where you're going a little bit closer to the time you expected to be there. And I shared an article this week that'll be down in the show notes. It's on Medium, and it's all about what this guy is calling the Waze effect and how having this sort of very minor artificial intelligence is changing the way that we as humans interact with each other and interact with common space. So my first question to the panel is, do you use Waze or anything like it?
I used Waze for a little bit. Actually, it was right after you came and visited up here. But I stopped using it because it was kind of annoying. It kind of sent me in, like, sometimes the quickest way ended up being a bigger pain in the butt than it was actually supposed to be. It wasn't really saving me much time. So yeah, I think that's why I just canned it. I just started using the Apple navigation again.
I feel like I only use it when I'm like driving and there's a giant like pile up on the highway, and then I take my Waze out. I'm like, shouldn't I've already known this? Like, I'm already there in the traffic jam, and now I'm like, oh, there's a jam. Better report it. That's my main usage of it, because I feel like the times when Waze would be helpful, I just don't feel like I'm necessarily in that zone for it, because my main commutes are just through highways, and usually like the back roads are never that busy anyway. So it just never really comes up that I particularly need like a rerouted road.
So I used Waze a lot when I first moved to Atlanta. It was really, really helpful in getting me to where I needed to go, and especially getting to work as I was trying to figure out like what my ideal commute was for a new job. The problem I found, though, is that the current version of Waze wants to run GPS all the time on your iOS device, because it always wants to be able to tell you it would take you this long to drive home right now, which is a really great thing when it's 4:45 at work and you're trying to get home before traffic. But it's not a great thing when it's like 11:45 and you're just sitting at your desk and your phone is running out of battery because Waze is using it all. So I gave it up purely for battery reasons. I just didn't feel like I needed to get around traffic so much that it was going to destroy my phone battery. But the argument in this article, I think, is more interesting than phone battery or anything like that. It's this idea of like having all this crowdsourced data. Waze thinks that it's routing us all effectively, but sometimes it ends up routing a whole bunch of us down a street that like doesn't typically get that kind of traffic. And it just like does things that make sense to a computer, but sometimes feel weird to people. And so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. How do you feel about this crowd data that it's using, this data of all connected drivers? Does it make you feel skeevy? Is it making driving better or more efficient?
I would say so.
I don't.
I mean, I just think it does. I don't see why. I mean, I feel like you're right that a computer isn't going to understand the context of driving through a neighborhood or, like places that typically don't get a lot of traffic. So I mean, they have a point in that respect, that it is kind of like potentially destroying the sanctity of suburbia, which I guess is okay a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I sent you the book, Who Owns the Future?
Yeah, I haven't even started it yet.
Okay, that's all right. And a majority of that book talks about the use of big data and how, like, kind of, it's more of a giant critique of big data, um, which I don't think is anything new. I think that if you're in touch with the news about technology today, you've heard a lot of this stuff. But I think that's one thing why I didn't like the app too much is because first of all, it always makes me feel weird knowing that when I sign up for an app that it wants to know where I am all the time. That it weirds me out. That was the first reason I was like, okay, Waze, like you better have a superior product here if you're going to be like constantly tracking me. Um, but I feel like, yeah, I get what he says in the article when he's talking about how it sometimes makes you go down these roads that are often not traveled, and maybe there's a reason for that. Like that was one thing about Waze. Sometimes I was going through like neighborhoods and stuff like that. And it wasn't because I felt like exploring and seeing if there's a different route. It was because this is the quickest way to go. And I'm running into like potholes and there's like a one lane road, like because cars are parked on both sides. And I just felt like, okay, so it's mathematically the quickest, but I mean, mathematics and efficiency in automobiles is pretty much out the window since the history of the automobile. So I don't know. That's why I was on the fence about this particular app. I don't think that it does as good of a job as it's painted to be. I think the only thing that made it fun was that you can collect candy and like you score points and blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. That was okay, so you make a game aspect of it, but that's not enough to make it like a great app. It really isn't.
For me, this app was really, really great for very specific use cases. So, for example, if there's a wreck on the freeway in front of me, Waze is really good at telling me how far along in the traffic jam I am. But that's a super cool feature.
Hmm.
Similarly, it'll tell you things like I even had it tell me before I left for a lunch meeting one time, like, there is an accident on your route. You need to leave in the next 5 minutes if you want to make it to your meeting on time. That's super cool. That's the kind of data that I want to have. But like you said, the constant tracking combined with the sometimes sending you into places that you don't really want to be in order to get to where you're going, it just doesn't feel like it's quite there yet. I think it's efficient, but I don't think it's successful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's so much that it sends you into places where you don't want to be, as it sends you into places that aren't engineered for that kind of driving.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like street plans are made and engineered in a specific way to do particular things. Um, like there's a reason that there's roundabouts rather than having, 8 stoplight for intersection, interchanges in the middle of your town. It's because it keeps traffic moving. Um, and I think that there's engineers that think about this kind of stuff. And granted, it takes a while for infrastructure to change, if it can at all sometimes. But I think like if everybody thinks that math is the elegant solution that's going to solve all the problems, an algorithm on the internet, I don't really think you're right in doing that. So
Yeah, that's kind of the underlying question around all of this is how much can we actually solve using algorithms? And that's just not something that I feel like Waze is a very good answer to.
no, no.
How do you feel, Tyler? All right, so my last question for this topic is just kind of a fun one. I want to know what other things do you think that we could automate in a Waze style way? I have one that I think is fairly simple.
Wait
When
times for restaurants.
That's very similar to what mine was going to be. Rather than wait times for restaurants, mine was going to be open machines at laundromats.
Mm. That's oddly specific.
Well, because when I lived in the dorms, we would have this problem of like you carry all your shit downstairs to go to the laundry and then all of the machines are full. Or somebody puts their laundry in and then goes upstairs to study and forgets about it and leaves it in there all day. It would be really nice to have like a system that pinged you when your laundry was done, but also you could check ahead of time and know how many machines were open.
Right. But the part of me thinks that what makes it worries me about Waze too is that having something like that and having it point at a particular thing might also cause everybody to kind of run for that same thing. So if there's like three people waiting for a washing machine or 30 cars trying to get around, a fender bender, that now all of a sudden you have all these people rushing down the side street where children play because they need to get home.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean?
point.
That's what scares me about this. I don't think that the algorithm is very good because the algorithm can't consider these things unless you create like a mathematical. Maybe you put in another part of the algorithm where it says like, we're going to rate all these streets and try to go on wider,
Yeah,
designated
only
number
send so
one and
many
number
cars
two
down this
streets.
route and only send so many cars down that route.
Right, right. I mean, I think that Waze is good right now because this is the frontier of self-driving cars. Is kind of what we're getting here. Like, if something is to happen, how does everything keeps moving around it? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
No longer are you stuck in a a car log jam.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
hit an accident. I didn't hit an accident, but I came across an accident this morning right at a freeway interchange. And people, I don't know if they were using Waze or what, were pulling through the median to go the other direction up the freeway to, I guess, take back streets around this accident.
right,
And I'm just thinking, like, how many people are gonna get rerouted in that situation if they're all using Waze?
right.
Will it
Mm.
send that same quantity of cars down a tiny little road?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, then I just feel like if it's telling me to do this and it's just to avoid a stoplight, like imagine what happens when it's like I have it was just in the suburbs of Cleveland. It wasn't like I was anywhere big, but when we were in Houston, I was trying to think like, oh my God, if there's like if everybody's using Waze and there's something wrong, like it's gonna be nuts.
People are just gonna be going down like the suburbs so to get to
You're gonna be
bypass the highway.
Right.
pulling Uis everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but no, I like the idea of using this on other stuff. I think that might be interesting to try. Um,
Unfortunately, there's already like a restaurant aggregation site that tells you like the wait in line at restaurants
yeah,
that I've
it's not that
tried.
good though.
I mean, it just requires people to be adamant about it, which
Right.
is
And that's why Waze tracks all the time.
Right.
right.
Because it can't rely on people to launch the app every time they drive home from work. And so just having it track all the time gets them as much data as they want.
Right.
I mean, the apps that basically aggregate my life for me are already there. I already have the Chipotle app. I mean, what else do I need?
Yeah, I got the Starbucks app. I just send it in. I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have Starbucks anymore because it's become a complete sink of my money, but that's
Well, not to rub it in, Tyler, but Sean, can we talk about how great the Starbucks app is?
is it
It
good?
is.
Oh
It's
man, the
pretty
Starbucks
nice.
app is great.
Yeah, dude.
I have
Remember
all
I
that time you
never
had to wait in line and stand there and wait for the person in front of you to ask if they could have a caramel double salt macchiato with 2 shots of soy, a half shot of vanilla, light cream, half skim with 2 shots of double extra white lightning? Nope.
Sean, that's really great that you actually said all things that people probably would actually order.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the times when people like make that joke, they're like they just say like random bullshit that doesn't make any sense. But what you
No.
just said is a real order.
Right.
Like, 'cause Catherine now gets a decaf latte with almond milk, and she's like, "I'm becoming one of those people." I'm like, I guess.
Well, I mean, the thing, and this is going off on a bit of a tangent, but the
Yeah.
thing that I love about the Starbucks app and really all of those related apps, particularly the airline apps, is you walk into the Starbucks or you walk into the airport and it knows you're there because you walked
Right.
past one of Apple's little eye beacons and your phone says, "Are you at Starbucks? Would you like to pay using your Starbucks gift card?" And you
Whoa, that's
just
crazy.
and you just swipe right and your gift card is there on the screen. They scan it, and you go. It's even better on airplanes because you're just like, oh, TSA, here's my phone, scan, walk through. Oh, it's so nice. And that kind of data, like, I don't really mind if Starbucks or the airport has data on, like, how I walk through the airport, because it's removing the hassle of trying to remember where my paper ticket is, which, by all means, go ahead. Like, I'm fine with that.
Let's not lie. You're going through the TSA. There is nothing there. There probably isn't many secrets you're about to keep.
Exactly.
But Taylor, you're not worried about the government knowing your Starbucks order?
No, I'm not. The government
You're
can
not?
know my Starbucks order. I can tell them right now, it's a medium coffee with room for cream. Done. Every time.
Wait, why don't you want to put the cream? Why don't you want them to do it?
Because I want to put my own cream in.
Okay.
Because sometimes I use skim and sometimes I use whole, depending on what kind of mood I'm in.
There you go. Can't predict this kid. Take that, algorithm.
Black or nothing.
Aha.
Black or die.
Oh my god. This is a kid that drinks unsweetened tea. Hashtag leaf water.
Hashtag leaf water.
This is the one that cold brews his own iced coffee.
We are hipster scum.
It almost seems like this author of this article gets kind of paranoid at the end of his article. He talks about like
Every article about big data gets a
regulatory
little bit paranoid.
capture and stuff. And I'm like, oh god. I get it. I see your struggle there, but like every industry has its siren, and let me tell you, this is it for technology.
I mean, listen, Sean, think pieces got to have something in them that really make you question the validity of the article itself.
So, interesting stuff. Just, all right.
And now it's time to round out the show like we always do with a round of shameless plugs. We're going to start, as always, with Tyler Reed. Tyler, what do you have to plug this week?
Hey, what up? Hey, everybody. You can find my work at tylerdreed.com. Still doing the D&D illustrations on my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TDR Design. And been trying to use Anchor, which is the new micro blogging platform. So it's like the Instagram of like mini podcasts. So I've been trying to use that. I believe I'm also TDR Design on that. So yeah, you should follow me on that.
Sean, shameless plugs from you.
Check me out on Twitter, Evans_MURGE, tweeting a lot lately. That's about it so far. Been following the campaign really close, been working on some articles with that. Nothing has really come to fruition yet because some big changes that are actually, I want to get a grasp of it before I write anything down. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that.
All right, and shameless plugs from me. You can follow me on Twitter at TC Olmstead. You can follow the show on Twitter at Dudes Brunch. Like us on Facebook. You can leave us a review on iTunes. That would be cool of you. But if you want bonus content throughout the week, you should follow the show on Anchor. As Tyler said, it's like the Instagram of mini podcasts. We're on there as Dudes Brunch Podcast, and we'll be asking questions and responding to your questions all week long. So check it out. Until then, we will see you guys next week with more brunch.
Can we restart that?
Yes.
All right.
I'm glad that no topics came out of the closet at you.
Right.
They did in my topic.